So I don't know how many of you know what lean is, but if you don't search it up and don't ever try it. Today's story is about the time me and my friends tried lean. So again, you kind of know by now from watching my other stories, I have some really stupid friends, like really, really off the charts stupid. And we were all sleeping over this one kid's house, and like we used to do this, like we don't do it as much anymore, but we'd always go over to his house, and like we'd go to the mall, and then we'd go over to his house and have a sleepover. And like really, his parents are kind of like chill, like like we'll just say stuff in front of them, they won't even care, like they're kind of cool about it. So what we usually do whenever we go over to his house is like we'd all like stay on the main floor. Like there's 3 floors. There's a basement, there's a main floor, and then there's the upstairs. And the upstairs is all the bedrooms, and then the main floor is like his living room. There's like a dining room, some other rooms, and a kitchen. And then there's the basement, which is like just a room that we don't even go in really. And then he has like a basketball hoop and a trampoline outside. So you were kind of just like in the streets playing soccer, because that's what we usually do, and we kind of just like mess around, talk, and sometimes ding dong ditch. Well, we did that for probably like, we were there from like 6 to like, we did that probably for like 6 to 8, and then it started to get dark, so we kind of went inside. And usually when we go inside, we kind of like watch TV, play video games, and his parents kind of stay up late. Like they're pretty much down there just like talking to us, and like we all talking like about something. I don't know, it's kind of weird but kind of cool. It was probably like 10 o'clock when his parents both went up to like sleep. And whenever that happens, they don't really tell us like to settle down or anything, because they can't really hear us anyways. And we kind of have like this thing where whatever the first person to fall asleep is usually gets pranked. And like, I don't know, it's pretty much a thing for everybody at a sleepover. And we were like, our goal for that night, I don't know why, we were all like really like, I don't know, we were just out of it. Like that, our goal for that night was just pull an all-nighter. And there were 5 of us, I remember. And the kid's house we were staying at, he kind of just lets us do whatever. Like if there's something that we want to use of his, he's just like, cool, whatever, use it. Like he's not like, no, you can't use that, you might break it or something. He's just like really chill with everything. And again, I have some stupid friends. It was probably midnight, and we were, like, getting really, really tired, and we were kind of all just, like, sitting around looking at our phones. And somebody was like, alright, I think I'm just gonna go to bed. I don't really care if you guys prank me. I'm just so tired, I just want to go to bed. And my one friend was, like, so determined just to stay up all night, and he was just like, no, we're gonna do something now, because we kept, like, discussing on, like, what we're gonna do. Like, we would be like, oh, let's play this game. Oh, no, that game's dumb. Like, somebody would always be like, no, that game's dumb. And then we'd be like, oh, let's play this game. No, that game's dumb. And the one kid was like, all right, what are we gonna do then? And he's like, and he, like, started thinking. And the other kid, who's, like, he, like, is kind of into like, he's not into drugs, but he, like, jokes about him a lot and, like, just makes fun of him. And, like, but if he was ever in, like, that situation, he'd probably do it, I don't know. And he's just like, in the most sarcastic voice ever, he goes, how about we make some lean? The kid determined to stay up all night was just like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm sitting there like, no, that's an awful idea. I don't want to get high and stoned and whatever the heck lean does to you. The kid whose house we were at, he was like really tired, so he was just like, yo, whatever, go ahead. And just stuff like that. So all of us except the kid's house who we were sleeping over at, he kind of like fell asleep, and we weren't going to prank him because we were at his house. And we got into the kitchen, and I didn't know what lean was at the time. I'm just like, what is lean? Like, I thought it was like some like food challenge or something. And my friend starts grabbing all these styrofoam cups, and he starts searching through like the fridge and the pantry for like all these different things. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm trying to find all the stuff to make lean. I'm like, you make lean? He's like, yes, it's a freaking drink. I'm like, oh, okay. And to this day, I'm like still eerie around him just because of this. He was like, oh, dude, you haven't ever tried lean? I'm like, no, what is it? He's like, oh, it's just like this really cool drink that gives you a lot of energy. And I believed him. Like, I was too tired to Google it, so I believed him. So they start pulling out all this stuff, and they're just like, all right, just go over there and do whatever. We'll tell you whenever it's ready. And I'm like, all right. So I kind of just go over, look at my phone, and start playing this game on my phone. And I'm like kind of glancing over at them, and they're kind of like laughing and like looking over to see if I was looking at them. And they start pulling out like all this stuff. And the one kid left like the kitchen, and like I heard him go into the bathroom. but like I just thought he was going to the bathroom. And then at that point, I kind of just walked over, and they're like, no, 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 you can't come over, you can't come over. They didn't want me to see what they were putting in my drink, and I thought like, oh, they're just probably gonna mix up some disgusting like ketchup, mustard, and like all this stuff in my drink, and then make me drink it and laugh. And I was just like, whatever, I'll drink it. I'm not gonna puke. So 10 minutes later, they're like, all right, you can drink this. I'm like, all right. So I come over, I look, and it's this purple drink. I'm like, all right, what'd you do to it? And they're like, oh, nothing. And they kind of just start looking at each other and start laughing. Like, did you put like ketchup in it or something stupid? And they're like, no, 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 we just made it. It's lean. It's gonna give you a lot of energy. Drink it, drink it, drink it. So I'm like, all right. Here goes nothing. So I kind of like put it up to my nose, smelled it, and it smelled really like, it smelled bad, but it kind of smelled like fruit punch at the same time. And I kind of sipped it. I was so tired that I didn't really care about taste. I sipped it, and I didn't really taste anything. So I just took a big gulp, and then I put down the cup, and it was like, I drank like probably half of it. And then after I'm done, I just look at them, and they're all just laughing, like hysterically laughing. I'm like, oh, what the heck's so funny? What'd you put in it? They're like, dude, you just drank lean. I'm like, what's lean? They're like, that's a drug. I'm like, it's a drug? And they're like, yeah, dude, you're gonna get like all woozy and stuff. I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? You guys just pretty much drugged me. Like, they just drugged me. I'm like, oh, crap. What does it do? They're like, well, it pretty much just makes you woozy and like, I'm not one for drugs. Like, I don't go over to somebody's house and, like, want to smoke weed and stuff. And if it is there, I'm not going to do it. Like, I don't want to do drugs. So I was, like, kind of mad at the same time. But I also thought it was kind of funny that they did this. But, like, at the same time, I was just, like, super mad. So I'm like, oh, crap, I'm going to die and, like, stuff like that. Like, I'm thinking, like, this is going to, like, just destroy my whole body and, like, kill me. So I'm like, all right, now one of you has to drink it. If I had to drink it. So, like, the one kid who's, like, kind of, like, weird about drugs is like, fine, I'll do it. And he just takes a big gulp. Then they started looking at him like, holy crap, you just freaking took that like it was nothing. And he's like, yeah, I feel fine. He, like, kind of just, like, drifts off and, like, he, like, starts falling over, kind of. And then we're like, all right, now one of you three has to drink it. And we have this friend who, like, I don't know how to describe him. Whole act, all right? We're like, all right, drink this. So he puts the, like, cup up to his lips. And he made it look like he was drinking, but I know for a fact that he didn't drink it. He put it up, and he made it look like he drank it, and he was just like, whoa, 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 I feel so stoned and stuff. Like, he started acting, like, extremely, like, he was acting like he was, like, already, like, stoned and high and crap. When in all reality, if you were stoned and high, like, you wouldn't be doing that. And it didn't kick in as soon as you drank it. So I go over and sit down on the couch, and the other kid, like, he's just like, I don't even know what he did. He was like laid on the ground, and my friends were just sitting there watching me, and I was kind of on my phone, and I just remember getting so tired, and they didn't want me to go to sleep, and they're like, we're just gonna prank you if you fall asleep. So I didn't want to fall asleep, and I was like, I would stand up and I would literally just fall over, and they'd be like, all right, we're pranking you. So I'd get up, and then I'd just fall over. And that happened for, like, 5 minutes, and then my one friend was like, all right, let's go outside then. And I'm like, all right, fine, let's go outside. Because I wasn't going to be the first one to fall asleep because I didn't want to get pranked. So we walk outside, and, again, he has a trampoline. And I'm drowsy as crap. Like, I can't even, like, walk in a straight line. Like, it actually, like, kicked in and, like, affected me. The other kid was just laying there on the ground and, like, staring at the ceiling. I don't know what he was doing. But they're like, all right, in order to keep you awake, you have to do a backflip on the trampoline. And I'm like, all right. You know, again, I was really tired, and I was really drowsy. So I get on this trampoline, which probably took 2 minutes for me to get on the trampoline. And I kind of just laid there, and I tried to stand up, and I fell backwards. And my friend was, like, videotaping me and, like, laughing at me. And it took me probably, like, 5 minutes just to stand on the trampoline. And then when I stood on it, I started bouncing. And I remember I jumped up in the air, and I just, like, passed out in in air, like, I fell asleep. Then when I hit the trampoline, I woke up again. So I got up, and they're like, all right, do a backflip. And I had, like, a little bit of energy in me. I was just like, all right, I can do this. I don't know why. I was just like, hey, do this. Bad idea. So I start jumping. Like, it probably took me 15 minutes just to learn how to jump up and down. I start jumping. And my friend's like, do a backflip. And they're like, already. And keep in mind, this isn't a trampoline with nets around it. Like, you can just jump right off. There's no nets surrounding it. I'm just jumping. And I say, all right, I'm going to do it. And they're like, all right. And I do 3, 2, 1. And I jump forward off of the trampoline and just face plant right into the ground. And I landed like on my face / chest, and my friends just start cracking up. And I just remember going, oh, like it hurt so bad. But whatever reason, I didn't do a backflip. I tried to do a front flip and just face planted into the ground. And then afterwards, I made it inside, and my friends like couldn't stop laughing. And I ended up falling asleep, and nobody pranked each other because we were all just so tired. The next morning, I woke up. I'm just like, hey, what happened last night? I don't remember like anything. They're like, oh, you just like face planted off the trampoline. I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. And they're telling me like all this stuff that I did and like said, like I don't remember like a lot that I did. I was just like, yeah, you guys are just lying. And then I got picked up, and then probably around 3 o'clock, like one of them texted me and like showed me the video, and I started to like kind of remembering stuff that I was doing. I'm like, yeah, these guys are jerks. I'm never hanging out with them again. That's just a story about the one time I had lean, and if you ever don't try lean ever. Like, that's like the stupidest thing you could ever do. It's not funny. In the end, I was like actually kind of got hurt and stuff, but I was fine in the end. But I hope this is a funny story for you guys. Hope you had a good time watching. I had a good time making it. As always, leave a like, subscribe, and comment what I should do next, guys. I'll see you in the next episode, and goodbye. So I tried opening them up, and the one door opened, so I walked in, and then